Hi, I'm Marc Graban, host of the KaiNexus Continuous Improvement Podcast. I am a senior advisor to KaiNexus, and today we're doing another episode in our series where we talk to some of our 2024 Nexie Award winners as given in May at KaiNexicon, our annual user conference. Our guest today to talk about that is Marc Haberer. He is a process engineer at Polytainers. Polytainers, again, was one of our Nexie Award winners. They received the Top Turnaround Award. That's given to the organization that's displayed the most progress using KaiNexus to build its improvement culture since the previous conference. So, Marc, thank you for joining us here today. How are you?
Yeah, it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for having me. I'm great. I'm happy to talk about our progress this year with KaiNexus and the things that we've been doing with it.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, tell us a little bit about Polytainers, the company, and a little bit about your role as a process engineer.
Okay, sure. So Polytainers is a 50-year-old company. We're based in Canada, although we have a sister plant in the States. And what we do is we make plastic packaging for the dairy space. So that would be things like yogurt primarily, and sour cream, cottage cheese, some margarine, that kind of thing. And we do some deli, getting into soups. We're starting to expand our portfolio. It's a very exciting time to be at Polytainers. Mm-hmm. Specifically, we're doing rigid plastic packaging. That is primarily thermoforming and injection molded. Mm-hmm. We do decorating in the injection molded process, something called IML, in mold labeling. And we also do decorating using dry offset printing or sleeving. So in many operations, post-molding, that we can offer our customers different finishes and decoration options.
Yeah. So that packaging might be flat or smooth with labels, or it might be somewhat three-dimensional with a brand or a logo.
Yeah, I mean, we really started out making kind of round, like very typical yogurt containers.
Yeah.
But as things have progressed, yogurt containers right now, they have some complex shapes. They have some very intricate designs and labeling. Some of them have, say, granola on one side, and you can flip the granola mm-hmm. into the yogurt. So, the industry is changing. The expectations of the customer are constantly changing. The level of sophistication is improving. And I would say recently the biggest breakthroughs and work that everyone is doing is towards sustainability and working with plastics to reduce the amount of plastic, to reduce carbon footprint, GHG, working with our scope 1, 2, and 3 to really reduce our environmental footprint.
Mm. Well, it sounds like there's product innovation and product improvement, and more broadly, how would you describe the continuous improvement journey as a whole there at Polytainers?
So when I first came to Polytainers, I would say that the continuous improvement was very centralized. So there was a small group of about 3 people working on continuous improvement. They were, one was a black belt, one was a green belt, and they were prescriptively doing continuous improvement in the sense that they would go and they would try to see what's going on, and then they would come up with continuous improvement that they thought would be best. They had good training, but sometimes the continuous improvement wasn't well received. It wasn't necessarily directed by the people on the floor, by the people who were intimately working with the process all the time, sort of the technicians, maintenance staff, etc., even production managers. So we decided to kind of turn that around a little bit. And I think at Polytainers, our idea is that everyone does continuous improvement. So, everyone has the day-to-day job that they do, but as part of that day-to-day job, or in addition to that day-to-day job, maybe is better to say, they have a responsibility to improve the process, or make improvements to their job, look for opportunities for cost savings, look for opportunities for sustainability savings, and so part of their job is actually to improve things. So the reason why we got into KaiNexus was that we didn't want to do the sort of like centralized, just prescriptive continuous improvement. We wanted to decentralize the continuous improvement and really have a way for managers in their departments to keep track of all of their continuous improvement activities, keep visibility for their bosses, have something to review, and really decentralize it in a sense that every manager would be responsible for what's happening in their department, and they could get ideas from their people, and there would be a system that kept track of everything, and from start to finish. And that's where KaiNexus really came in and provided us with that capability.
Yeah, well, it's great to hear. I love hearing about that sort of culture change, from a central group to engaging everybody in improvement. I don't know if you've heard, Mark, an expression I hear former Toyota people say it all the time, is meant as a positive, right? That everybody has two jobs: to do your work and to help improve your work, and that really does engage.
Exactly.
And we have other customers that have really embraced that approach. So I love hearing about that there at Polytainers.
So yeah, I mean that worked out well for us, for a while. And in fact, we had some, say, continuous improvement engineers. Their job was really to facilitate the continuous improvement from the different departments. Go through the board. So each department would have a board. See if anyone was stuck. See if there were resources that were required. And more recently, we and I guess maybe where the Nexie Award comes in is we also found a different way to use KaiNexus. And this has more to do with our larger projects and our capital projects. So I could potentially talk about that a little bit if you like.
Yeah, that would be great, because there's these different types of improvement driven by frontline staff, those that are supported by CI specialists, and bigger projects. So yeah, I would love to hear more.
Right. So the larger projects may be more strategic or top-down projects. And where this kind of came in is we, after COVID, or potentially due to COVID, people started eating a lot of yogurt, I guess. And we really started expanding quickly, and we started ordering a lot of equipment. And one of the problems was the process to get equipment was a very manual process. So one of the improvements that we saw in streamlining our ability to get capital, buy capital, get it approved, make sure that everyone supported the capital that was required and was aware, was a revamp of a manual capital appropriation request process. So originally what we had was a capital appropriation request form where you would, in the form, write out the reason for the request, the justification in terms of the ROI, or why you're doing it, the category. Was it health and safety? Was it CI? Was it growth? All these different aspects. And then what you would do is you would go and you would get your quotes, and you would get your budget, and you would basically put all these pieces to paper together and clip them together, and you would walk it through okay, I'm gonna sign it, then I'm gonna take it to the next person to sign it,
Yeah.
and the next person. Well, during COVID, that was also a problem because people were working virtually. So
Yeah.
often capital wouldn't get approved for months, and this was creating a huge problem for us. So what we did is we saw that KaiNexus, especially since the I guess the development of milestones in KaiNexus,
Mhm.
would be capable of basically streamlining and digitizing this whole process. So we wouldn't need any paper. We could append all our forms as attachments in the virtual form, in the template. So we worked with KaiNexus to develop a capital appropriations request template.
Mhm.
The other really good, let's say not say side effect, but one of the built-in advantages for the system was being able to loop in finance from the start, which is necessary for a capital appropriations request, to have the finance team do a financial analysis as part of the initial approval with the financial analysis. So that would be the first milestone that happened. So they would have to then append their financial analysis. That always happened. So in the past with the manual form, maybe that didn't happen, right? Maybe it was missed. Now it has to happen because the milestone has to be signed off. And then digitally, each person would get an email notification. There's a new milestone in your inbox. Open up KaiNexus. They could review all the documentation that was there. They can review the form, see that the financial analysis is done. It was very easy for them to sign off, and so on and so on. And now that we had that digitized, the flow was much quicker. There was way less waste, and we were able now to very efficiently get capital on the go.
Yeah.
And additionally to that, given that you did the financial analysis upfront, once the capital project was completed, you could resolve that, and then you could see, well, what did we actually achieve, and we can understand how effective our capital investments are versus the original ROI that was proposed.
Yeah. Well, it's great to hear about all the different ways you're using the KaiNexus platform. It sounds like process improvement related to the machines and production and the process to help you grow and buy more equipment. So I'm happy to hear there's a growth story. Encourage everyone listening, keep buying yogurt. Hopefully, it's helping support your work there at Polytainers. And I want to congratulate you and everyone again at Polytainers for that top turnaround Nexie Award. I want to thank you for being a customer, and hopefully we'll see you at KaiNexicon 2025.
Yeah, I hope to be there. Thank you very much for taking the time to hear our story. And I don't know if everyone listening to this has been to KaiNexicon, but it was a great experience. We learned so much from the other attendees and from the keynote presentations and from the speakers that they had there.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Well, that's great to hear, and hope we'll see you again next year. So, Marc, thanks again for taking time to share a little bit of your story at Polytainers.
All right. Much appreciated. We'll speak to you soon. Bye. Bye.